always upset because she's like, it's just me and you, and I got to clean this damn thing. And you got a big house on the reservation. Just kind of silly.
All right. Welcome. Nice live from the crossroads of America. A 1-hour talk show about shooting with disabilities or guns, politics, or anything else that crosses our mind. Answer questions from the audience. Just write them in the chat or email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Broadcasting on gun channels in YouTube. I have a Patreon page and all that good stuff. Let's see. We got who we got in the chat at the moment. Jason Stewart, John Brown Productions. Sabrina's here so far. See, I done what Squib told me to do. Just go live and don't say anything to you guys. So that's what I did.
So wait a minute. When did I say that?
The other week when I interrupted the conversation to go live.
No, what I meant was let the conversation go and either integrate it into the show or wait for us to be done with the conversation. You don't have to start on time. Nobody else does.
Yeah, but I'm not everybody else. I am me. You know, I know you got people who put a time down and they start an hour late or don't start at all on all kinds of stuff. I know. But I'm trying to be professional here, you know.
Looks good to me.
Yes, it looks good to me too. So anyway, let me introduce my panel. I have Squib. How you doing, Squib?
I'm doing all right. Reception might not be the best right now, but thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we can hear you still. Then we got the Kingpin himself. How you doing?
Good evening, Rick. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Then we got the man from New York, Blind Shooter. Hit your mute button. Talk to me, Blind Shooter. Oh, we might have lost him. All right, then, of course, then we got the one and only Patriot in the Dark.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm happy to be back. Thanks for the invite.
No problem. Yeah, we lost Blind Shooter. Must have a bad connection. Sometimes he has bad connection. He gets mad. He just goes and sits in the chat. So, Rich White's joined us. How you doing? All right. I got a topic to start with, but we're after this one. I don't know where we're going. Having a disability. How do I word this? Shopping on Black Friday. Do you make any adjustments for, the amount of people who are going to be there, the big crowds and stuff like that? How you carry, what you're doing, and everything else, or you just stay at home and shop on Amazon?
That's a pretty good question.
Personally, myself, I don't do the Black Friday thing because normally when I was working, I never had Black Friday off to go shopping. I always worked. So I've never been to a Black Friday sale in my life. But if I was going to do it, I was thinking about this. I wouldn't carry any different to what I do now. Concealed is concealed. I would be more, what's the word? I'm vigilant, with people knocking into me and maybe feeling the gun on my side or whatever. Because I carry, even though it's concealed, I carry it out in the outside the waist holster. I just wear something baggy over the top of it.
You've got mail.
So that's what I do. What about you, Patriot?
Black Friday, boy, I used to do it once in a while, just whatever, not anything big, but I have it worked out good now, where I visit take care of my daughter's sisters. I go over there and hang out, take care of the kids, and her mom leaves and just calls me and says, "Hey, they got this," and so I say, "Yeah, grab that." And she says, "Hey, they got this," and I, "Sure, grab that." So that kind of works out. So then I don't actually have to do it. I do a lot of the stuff online, but even Amazon is horrendous. Where they do their lightning deals and all that stuff, where you got to kind of flip through.
Yeah.
Like on my phone, it gets locked in cells, right? So it's like there's a little panel, or a patch that says, it's this is the thing, and this is how much time, and then it locks in that spot. And so you got to kind of swipe up, and it's just horrendous to navigate. Several years ago, I used to use a little slide phone. It was a Nokia. It had speech software and stuff on it. And that, since it was a dumb phone, it was before, everybody else was having smartphones, I could actually scroll through it really fast because it wouldn't recognize all the little frames and stuff that the things were set in.
Yeah.
But on the desktop, it's what it is. I usually I'll go through and pick what I want, throw it in a cart, and that time thing kind of stinks because unless I shop at the place all the time, your information isn't set up in there, and so that kind of is a hazard. But I don't know. I know all my credit card numbers. I don't obviously have to look them up every time or whatever. So that makes it easy. But other than that, I just order stuff online.
Yeah. Oh, Rich White says his wife works and his kids work, so he's stuck at home. And he goes, his poor kids all work at Walmart on Friday. Yeah. So when I was married, my ex-wife, now hell, I ain't been. How long have I been divorced now? Shit, 20-something years. So, but she used to work at Walmart. Well, she still does actually, but she used to work the Black Friday morning stuff. I mean, it was horrendous. She said, but I don't know that. Hey, talking about that, just slight. We get back to everybody else, but slight quick thing on that. I was married. I lived with her. I was married for 17 years, but I lived with her 3 years before we got married, so a total of 20 years. I've been divorced 20 years now. So when you fill out the forms and it says single, divorced, separated, married, or whatever, I put single because I've been single longer than I was married. There's a law that says I have to check divorced. So anyway, that's just a little side note. Anyway, we done Patriot. Line shooter, did you hear the question?
No, but can you guys hear me now?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you fine.
All right. What's the question?
The question was on shopping on Black Friday. Do you make any adjustments to how you carry and all this kind of stuff, or you just stay home and shop online?
I don't do any shopping on Black Friday at all.
Huh. All right. That answers that one. Normally, as I said, if I'm going to do any, I'll do it online. But 9 times out of 10, Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of the month, and so Black Friday is the following day. Hell, by the end of the month, I ain't got a lot of money spare to buy goddamn stuff. Anyway, so.
Well, not only that, but with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I mean, I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but what the stores and the online shops do is they put the price at what it's always been and just put the word sale or Black Friday deal next to it to get people to believe it's going to be lower.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, it's all a big con anyway. So, all right, Kingpin, do you do any adjustments for carrying on Black Friday or anything?
Well, I mean, just right off the top, I live in Maryland, so I can't carry.
Yeah, I know.
my opinion is if you're going to be in one of those places where they still open the door and let people rush in to go get the $5 television set,
Yeah.
don't take your gun. You have no reason to have your gun on you right there if you know you're going to be mobbing with people. If you're just going shopping with the regular crowd, it's not like people are slamming into you all day long. If you might accidentally bump into one person, maybe, I don't think you need to adjust anything. But if you're going to go into one of those big mobs where they're rushing the front door at 7 a.m. or something like that, probably just leave your gun in the car.
That's pretty good advice on that, I would say. What about you, Squib?
I don't go shopping on Black Friday.
All right. So,
I do have something to throw in there.
okay.
I'll take Squib's spot. I have a good friend. She is 100% blind, and this was a few years ago. She had went with her daughter and I don't know, the girls going out shopping, and she had picked up, I want to say it was one of the Rokus when the first year they came out, and some other things. And anyways, by the time she got up to the counter, they said, "Oh, it's $100," and she was, thinking it was half that or whatever. And she's like, no, that they said they gave me the right one and this and that. Well, they called the manager and they went and actually got the thing that she had thought she had and actually gave it to her. So it ended up working out to her advantage that, people are trying to be shady and, oh yeah, you got the DVR that records this and that. But, so it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Just a story,
It's a shame
I
that
still wouldn't do
somebody,
that.
I mean, it's a shame that somebody would do that with somebody who's got a disability.
Well, it was funny. My dad went on the following Saturday. This was a few years back, and he was standing there and he was looking around, and everything is just destroyed in Walmart or whatever. And he ended up finding an all-in-one computer that was leaning up. It was like in the closed section somewhere. I don't know where he said it was, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be. And it was like somebody had stashed it to come back and get it. And so he bought it all on one computer. So you might want to snoop around the following day. You get them old ladies hiding stuff behind the cereal.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And a lot of times I've noticed too, some of these sales, they're run for a week after Black Friday at the same price.
Yeah.
So.
I think nowadays they don't even wait until the big thing is it keeps going. They go Thursday night now. Thursday after dinner. It's like starts at 6 o'clock. Walmart and Kohl's and all that stuff. And a lot of the places you can buy the stuff online at the same time as their doorbusters for the same price. For the week prior.
Another thing that gets me about these two is, for argument's sake, I know it's hypothetical, but the big 50-inch screen TV for $5, right? Each store might only have 5 of them. They ain't got hundreds of them for everybody. Each store is only giving a few of that at that real low price. So my friend told me that, who works there. He said no. He said they only give us a few of each of those special deals. But so it's just to draw people in. That's all it's for. Anyway, Midnight Range said, Patriot in the Dark is always boasting about having all these friends just to make me feel bad. What a jerk.
No, I still call him pal, even though he ignores me. And no.
Well, I know. You're lucky, Midnight, that he's your pal. I made him who he is today. Get all the credit.
It's a toss up because my first live performance, I guess I can call it a performance, was on Midnight's show, and that's where he started spiraling right up to the ceiling now. That's why he's got so many people over there. But yeah, long time ago. And then the week following that's when I started jumping in over here.
Oh yeah.
And I appreciate all of you guys. Even you, Squib.
Yeah. So anybody got any topics they want to talk about?
I got one.
Okay.
All right, I'll pop the link out in the chat for the people who want to go look it up, and then I'll send you the link if you want to in the internal chat, Rick. If you wanted to pop it up, it's up to you. But it's pretty interesting little story, I think. Anyway, there you go.
All right. What is it? Let me have a look. Oh, the Wisconsin woman's been 104.
Yeah, I mean that kind of relates to a disability because I mean she's 104.
Oh yeah, oldest Wisconsin woman become oldest in the state to kill a deer, and it was her first hunt too. Yeah, yeah, I saw that. I didn't read the story, but I saw that headline earlier today. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool, really. Talking about shooting deer, did you get any the other day, Squib?
Yeah. Yeah, on
You got a
Sunday.
deer?
Yeah.
Wow. How many shots this time?
Yeah, one.
See, I
Hey.
wasn't even going to joke about that. Good job.
Yeah, he's good.
Thanks.
Doe or a buck?
Button buck. Thought it was a doe.
Now,
Yeah.
do you dress it and cut it yourself, or you take it to one of these places that would do it for you?
This time I had to pay somebody, but if depending on what I want off of it and depending on the circumstances, I'd do it myself. Like I can cut a roast or steak or something like that, right? But I don't have anything to process sausage or and it was about 30, I don't know, low 30s when I shot it. By the time I got it in the truck, it was getting close to 40 and ended up being 45 that day. So I was advised to get it to the butcher right away because they can get it in a cooler. Now, talking to somebody later, they said you could have ran into town and bought a couple bags of ice and stuffed it with ice and covered it with a tarp to keep the sun off of it, and that would have been just fine. Well, I didn't think about that at the time. And on the other hand, for what the butcher charges, if I'd brought 2 deer in, I'd be really broke right now. So I'm fine with just one.
Yeah. Yeah. Rich White said Squib is slipping. He didn't do a mag dump this year.
Oh, it ran. It ran, but it was just going to look for a place to die. This one wasn't necessarily just trying to get away. It hit right where I aimed, and I used a different load. Last year, Sean Ponnery and Tony York advised me to try something, and I built up a load for it, and it was pretty effective, I'd say.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
What did you use this year?
I used a hand load with a Lehigh Defense Extreme Penetrator.
What rifle?
The Henry Big Boy.
Oh,
That's pretty good. Hey, what do you think of that Henry 410 lever action?
I don't know. Never shot it.
Would you think it'd be a good? Would it be good for squirrels or rabbits?
Probably rabbits. I don't know if that might be too much for a squirrel.
Yeah. All right. I just happened to see the advertisement for one. That was what I was asking. Wasn't sure if anybody's actually read up on it or anything like that.
Are you talking about eliminating squirrels, or are you talking about hunting squirrels for like trophies and for eating?
For eating.
Yeah,
Put it in the freezer.
I'd say the 410 would probably be a little too much for the squirrel.
Okay. All right. I mean, I said when I went, I didn't get any, but when I went squirrel I was going to use a 20. I had a 22 in my hand. 22 long rifle. So, so there we go.
Next time we go squirrel hunting, bring the 380.
Yeah, especially if they're those New York mutant squirrels, those big ones.
Well, Rich White said 410 is good for a small game. So I don't know.
You'd have to use shot, right? You wouldn't use slug, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, what would you use? Bird shot to keep from blasting him away to pieces. I don't know.
As a kid, I used a 12 gauge on rabbit. I was,
Yeah, but were you
that's what I had.
were you trying to salvage the meat and have a meal out of it, or were you just
Yeah.
rabbit?
No. We used to go out all the time. That's just the shotgun I had. It was I can't remember.
The reason I say that it's 410 is still a little too much. There's not a whole lot of edible meat on a squirrel. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah.
So if you get a good body shot on it, you just damaged 90% of the salvageable meat.
Spit and shot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You would be as you're biting down, you're going to get little pellets of shot in your mouth. I mean, that's if you were doing them for me. If you were just doing them for sort of like pest control, it wouldn't matter. So here, listen to me, the great big squirrel hunter here. I've gone once and didn't bag a damn thing. So don't listen to me too much. Okay. Anything else? You got anything you want to talk about, Patriot?
I don't know. I mean, I had kind of a snafu yesterday and came up today recording a video, and by the time I got it all recorded and I was happy with all the words I was speaking and it remembered everything, it was totally black because it was dark outside. Yeah, so yeah. I added one of those Echo B or Eco B thermostats that I can control with my phone, and somebody suggested I should get one of the light switches so that it will just automatically turn on when the sun goes down. But I think that would be too easy. And
that would be too easy.
I don't want that Alexa checking me out all the time either. So
yeah. Rich White. Anyway, going back slightly, he said his stepfather always uses the 410 for squirrel hunting with no issues. So there you go. So Patriot put out a video that was totally black, and we're just seeing it through your eyes.
Yeah, I figure out of over 120-ish videos, I've got like 4 of them like that I've actually made it to the real world. Besides the one that I was recording the ceiling, I did have one that the camera was backwards because my daughter did a selfie that morning and I forgot to change it around. But I think that's a good ratio.
Yeah. Oh, Jason Stewart said an ear of corn and a tannerite jar makes a good squirrel hunt. Oh, blow them to kingdom come. Yeah. All right. You got anything, blind shooter, you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, pretty much everyone's covered the whole standoff with that veteran.
Yeah. And from what I figure out, it wasn't a red flag. He was getting done for breaking some restraining order or something, right?
That's what it sounded like as the days go on. So that's why I didn't give out his name. I don't believe in giving people that break their order of protections their 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. So, I mean, it got blown way out of proportion. So,
but December 2nd is right around the corner.
Yes, December 2nd. What was it? Oral arguments for that case?
Yep. Oral arguments right now. Fingers crossed. It's looking like it's in our favor, they can still go moot on the case, but only time will tell.
Yeah, because they're going to be allowed to put that in on their oral arguments. But I hope they don't say okay that it is, because if they do that next week, New York could reissue that law, and ain't a damn thing you can do about it.
Exactly, and that's what's scaring a lot of us, is that everyone thinks that the Supreme Court doesn't have the common sense to realize that New York City would end up doing something like that, and then it would take another 6 to 10 years just to get back to where we are now.
Yeah. No, I think they're doing. I think they're normally, from what I understood and what I've read, is normally they normally pick up a case which either they know they're going to vote yes for or they're going to vote no for. They know they've got the votes they need to go whichever way they plan on going. So, like for Second Amendment, they know they've got 5 votes for a good verdict, But I could be totally wrong, because you got what's his name, who's a bit, was it Kennedy? Whichever one is the head honcho now. He's wishy-washy. He could lean either way. But but as I was saying before we started, will they go into oral arguments if Ginsburg is still out sick?
That one I honestly don't know. I don't know that much about the Supreme Court if they'll allow stuff to go on if one of them is missing.
Does anybody know in here? No, I guess not. So it was just a thought, But also, what we need to do though is, if it goes in our favor or goes in your guys' favor, we need the Supreme Court to make it a broad verdict, which means it covers, the whole country, not just a narrow verdict that just covers New York City,
Well, that's one of the main things. Like, even if they don't make it a broad verdict, it's up to all the other states now to jump in, start filing the court papers, the documents, their briefs, and all that good stuff, and say, hey, this is what happened in New York. This is their law. The Supreme Court said this is what the Second Amendment is. This is what we're allowed to do. You need to follow it. And when all those other low-lying courts say, we're not going to listen, we're going to do things our own way, that's when it comes time for those states' Second Amendment organizations to step up and start raising the money so that way they can afford the court cases. The NRA is a big organization, but they don't have the billions of dollars that are needed to fight every single Second Amendment case here in this country.
I got something to ask about that. Last week, I seen that supposedly there's a lot of the lower courts that have been pushed in our favor as far as conservative or whatever, because of nominations and that. Is that number's obviously pretty big now? Last I heard it was like 168 or something. Anybody have any idea of that? Because I know that they were saying that a couple of the districts have changed away from the progressive liberal or whatever.
Yeah, I know we've changed. We just haven't gained that much ground to make it significant.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the courts have changed in the Trump administration because he had so many seats that he was able to fill.
Yeah.
Which, big backfire on Barack Obama, who was leaving them all there for Hillary Clinton. But he's still not the president, so that's good. But
you talking about the judges?
Yeah, all the judges that he's been able to appoint and all the judges.
Okay. The last I read, I think last I heard, it was he's put in 159 judges so far across the country. The 2nd district, the 3rd district, and the 11th district are now, which is a shame, in favor of conservative judges. They have the majority now. I mean, really, the judge. I mean, you think about it; these courts, it shouldn't be politically based, but it is.
Right. Now
Because
imagine,
I thought there was a couple more that they were talking about. Go.
well, imagine if he had a House and Senate that would be willing to work with him. You know,
Yeah.
he'd have a whole lot more people filled and a lot faster.
Oh yeah, I mean the Senate is where judges get confirmed, and it's the Democrats that are holding it up because they do this question and answer thing, and they make it drag on. I think they're allowed so many days to do one, and they can pass 2 or 3 in one day, but they drag it on to the maximum for each person, just to hold it up. I mean, they're just still crying over losing. Even after all these years, and God help us.
Well, the Republican Party is the exact same way.
If Trump wins again, I think they'll be jumping out of the top 4 of the Capitol.
The Republican Party was the same way. I mean, half or more, 3/4 of the Republicans were afraid to get near Trump because of Russian collusion.
Yeah.
It's taken what, 3 years for this handful of Republicans to really get behind the president.
Yeah. Well, the last poll I was reading, and don't know how true it is, 90% of Republicans are behind him now.
Yeah, that's the people. That's the voters. That's not the Senate and the Congress.
No. But which is a shame, is we as the people keep putting these people back in there. Year after each election, we put them back in there, and they shouldn't be there, at all, But hey, we've gone down this road before talking about this. They just keep, even if he's a bad one. Oh, he's running again. Let's keep him there. It's better than trying to find somebody new to replace him.
Well, did you see the Guns and Gadgets videos the past couple of days? The one where he was talking about the sanctuary counties that are popping up in Virginia. And then today he put out a video about the first gun bill that they're getting ready to start running through Virginia, where it's basically illegal to have training courses. And
I heard that.
So where were they, in the vote? Where were all these people, So they're going to find out real fast and real hard that you better start paying attention to what's going on, especially on a local level. If you don't watch what's happening in your backyard, your house is going to get knocked over.
And this could be a good thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, not only that, I can't remember if, Rick, you said it in your previous chat or someone else said it in their live show, but you can make all the sanctuary counties you like, but if they pass the law at the state level, the state law trumps your county, so it's not going to do you any good, really.
Yeah, I was saying that.
Okay,
well, yeah, but the thing about that is when the county sheriff comes out and says, because these are all sheriff's departments that are declaring themselves sanctuary counties. When it comes down to the sheriff's department pressing charges on you for concealed carry or having a 30-round magazine or teaching somebody how to shoot a gun, that's as far as it goes. So you'd have to have an interjection or whatever you want to call it with a non-sheriff. Like if a state police pulled you over and found a 30-round, that's a whole different story. The only thing Sanctuary County does is protect you from the sheriff's department.
Okay. Oh, Jason Stewart just let me know the Supreme Court doesn't need all the justices there. Just 4 to 5 of them need to be present when they're doing their stuff. So there you go. So they can start it without Ginsburg if she's still alive. She looks pretty rough, actually. See, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she gambled that Clinton was going to win, that Hillary's going to win, and she was going to retire. But since she didn't win, she's had to hang in there for another 4 years. Now, if Donald Trump wins again, which hopefully he does, God forbid we get a Democrat in there. Even though some of the gun people that I've heard in chat said it would be better if we have a Democrat winning, because then the gun people get off their ass to stop all these bills from passing.
Yeah, those are all called stupid people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to come up with a better word than stupid, but you're right. That is just plain asinine, really, to say something like that. But what scares me, a couple of these people that I've heard say this are way bigger channels than I am. They're influencers. They got over 100,000, 200,000 subscribers are coming out with this shit. So and their following is listening to them.
Is this recent stuff? I mean, I've heard them say that, a year or two ago or something, but
no, I just heard it the other night.
I wouldn't listen to them no more.
I don't. It just drives me crazy. But what I was saying on the Saturday show, and to me, it's still the same thing, is not only, how can I say it? Fear. Everything's being done on fear. We're doing the, well, we got to, they're coming out with this law. All hell is going to break loose. We got to do this. And everything's being based on fear. What I was using for an example on Saturday show was that magazine I was reading about training, right? If you don't have this training, you're not going to be able to, take care of business, and they're breeding fear to get you to train, but every day you read articles where some old woman, some young man, some teenager fought off the bad guy. They weren't America's chief operator, SEAL team, So, even that one in the news today. I thought the guy was a bit cocky. He said when he woke up and that guy had a AK-47 in his face, his Glock went next to him, and he picked up his Glock and unloaded it into him. About 14, 15 rounds into his chest. He was a bit cocky about it, but I don't think he was trained in the arts of self-defense. So what can I say? So that's another thing. I noticed a lot of radio, Pro 2A radio shows. This is the worst year. They're almost like the NRA. This is the worst year ever. If Trump doesn't win, you might as well kiss your Second Amendment goodbye. It's over. Done.
Those are the same idiots that say that Trump is the worst thing that's happened to the Second Amendment ever, too. And then you ask him, okay, well, what has Trump done anti-Second Amendment? And they say the bump stock. And then he talked about doing a bunch of stuff and brought up. I've actually had people argue that Donald Trump invented the red flag. Every time I ask them that, they're like, well, Donald Trump's responsible for red flag laws. No, he's not. Red flag laws were long before Donald Trump, and the Democrat states that are passing red flags had nothing to do with Donald Trump.
No. Now, here, Indiana, this is a true blue conservative state. We've had a red flag law since 2005.
Yeah, that just goes back to the fact that their label is stupid people. So that's why they earned that label.
Yeah. So
that's a good turning point to mention December 15th, if you want to do that.
What's December 15th?
Social media rally.
Do what?
That
Talk to me.
That's the online Second Amendment rally. I mean, it's not really online, but it's basically calling everybody out. You don't have to show up anywhere. It's just making phone calls to your representatives, Congress critters.
Now, is this being advertised? Because I've never heard. I ain't heard a
Yeah.
word about it.
There's information on the. I would have to ask somebody. Actually, Squib is like the pro because he found it yesterday. But yeah, you can find it on Facebook. But basically, you don't really need much information. You just need to know the number to, the switchboard there in Washington and in your state, and take on the 15th of December, make calls, do the emails that Squib doesn't like doing. And, if everybody does that, and you might have to obviously wait. Hopefully, you'll have to wait and have hold times because there's going to be way so many people doing it. So I don't know much about it. I just know it's the 15th because it's the day before my birthday. So if anybody wants to buy me a present,
It's on Instagram, Rick.
okay.
Okay.
You find it on Instagram.
Yeah. See, I have an Instagram account, but I really don't use it.
Facebook has it too. Squib found the link yesterday in Sandhill Shooters chat.
Go to the 2A for E website, and that's where I found the link for the Facebook page. But if you don't like Facebook like me, it's, you can pick whatever you want out of there. If you don't already have a Facebook sign-in set in your computer, I don't know if it'll link to it or if you've got to log in. There was already somebody else's Facebook was signed into the computer. That's how it went right to the link. But they've got it at the 2A for E website.
Yeah, so it's on the 15th. Just know the 15th. It's a Sunday, so it's not like you're should be too busy. Make calls and leave messages most likely because they're probably not going to be in there. But so.
All right, we'll have to bring it up.
That means you don't have an excuse. It's not that you're too busy to make a phone call.
Yeah, yeah.
And hopefully that'll show them. Because when things happen bad, those guys that wait until something bad happens and then decide to do a sanctuary county or something, at least they'll give them an opportunity to reach out and do something.
I'll put the diversityshoot.com link out there. Is that where you got it, Squibby?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that. But that's Tony Simon's link out there, the diversityshoot.com. And while you're there, go ahead and buy one of his 2A4E t-shirts that are $10 shipped, and you'll get them in like 2 or 3 days. I mean, it's amazing. Great shirt, $10 shipped.
And they're good quality. They're thick. They're not like those chintzy little thin ones. Just saying.
Yeah. So, is there any more news on the Maryland? The mayor saying it's not his fault.
Yeah, they're going to jump in the bandwagon of suing gun companies. That's the latest news. Literally, it was like 2 or 3 days after he did that interview and said that he's not responsible because he didn't kill anybody. They put out a press release and said that they're going to start going after gun companies.
Doesn't your state have preemption?
I don't know. I don't think it matters inside the city limits of Baltimore. They do what they want.
Yeah.
They're Democrats. They lie to protection.
Unfortunately, a lot of those states over there on that side of the East Coast do what in the hell they want. Just like, California does too. But you know what I'm saying?
Well, there's light there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. If it's not the end of the tunnel that I'm seeing the light coming from, then it's just somebody with a flashlight waiting to bash me in the head with a sledgehammer. So we'll find out. But throughout last year, a lot of stuff got voted down in Maryland, some new gun laws. So that's a positive thing. There's a couple other things that got promoted up and then got shot right back down, kind of. They were going to arm the security guards in Baltimore City schools. So technically that passed, but they just said they're not going to do it. So I don't really know where to go from there. And then I'm not sure where it stands right now, but the Supreme Court was considering looking at the may issue, shall issue situation in Maryland too in December. So,
Yes, I heard. Yes, it's sitting there, and they got to decide whether they're going to pick it up or not.
yeah.
Yeah,
They've denied it before. They years ago, I think it was 2013 or maybe a little earlier than that, they turned it down. Like that's when it first started getting a little bit more top priority. But at least they're willing to think about it this time. Last time they just said straight up no.
yeah.
So it's a May issue right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's little tiny fine print that you got to see with a magnifying scope or just an intelligent brain. And right before it says, right after it says may, it says not. You know, just most
Yeah.
people don't see that not until they get the rejection letter.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times. Like when I was living up in Rhode Island, right? It's a shell. It was a shell issue. Now, if you go look at Rhode Island, it will say May issue state. It's actually it's a May / shell issue. If you go to the local police station, it's shell issue. If you go to the Attorney General's office, it's May issue. That's
This
where
is all the firearm stuff in Maryland's run by the state police department. So,
yeah. Well,
there is no going around them.
Yeah. Well, in Rhode Island, you can get around the Attorney General's office by going to the local police station, and it's a shell issue. But they still want you to come up for a reason why you need it. And I said to them, "Why, if it's shell issue, you know?" But if you want the license, you play the game. Then you fight them on it, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Now, what's the difference with that? I mean, if you go to your county, your county and get it, what's the difference between a license issued there? Is there a difference between that and the Attorney General? I mean, it's like,
yeah, actually,
are you limited?
It's backwards, right? Get it from the local sheriff's office or the town sheriff's police station. It's for concealed carry only, but I can go into a gun store, fill out the 4473 and take the gun right there and then. Right? If you don't have a permit, it's a 7-day waiting period. Now, if you get the May issue one from the Attorney General's, it says it is a carry permit, not a concealed. The one from the local police station says concealed carry permit. The one for the Attorney General just says carry permit. So you could carry open in Rhode Island, but you'll get arrested for doing it, until you prove that you're allowed to. Nobody uses it. Also, getting the May issue one from the Attorney General, you still have to wait the 7 days to pick up your firearm. Now, there's what was it? There's under 3 million people in the state of Rhode Island, and only about 4,000 there's only about 4,000 carry permits in the state because they make it so hard to get it. People just don't bother, And there you go. And like here in Indiana, I done it all online, and I got my permit. No questions. Oh, I had the, there's no. You need 3 references to make sure you're of good character, and you have to go in front of a board to have an interview, which I had to do, and all this shit. And that's for a shell issue. It's a bunch of crock of shit. See what? It's to stop people from applying to say, "Oh, I ain't going to bother with all this crap." That's what it's done for.
Yeah,
That's like New York.
Do what?
Go ahead, Patriot.
I was just going to say they changed the boards here in Michigan. They used to have that, the county boards and everything. So now you don't have to do that. I was just saying that for Squib.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
I know.
Just picking on you.
What were you saying, Blind Shooter?
Oh no, I was going to agree with you, Rick. There, that's the way they do it here in New York. They make so many hoops that you have to jump through, in the hopes that it'll deter the average citizen who wants their gun permit from actually doing so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but not only that, in the state of Rhode Island, you had. I mean, like I think it's like you had to get the blue card from the state to be able to purchase the firearm. You know, it cost you $5. You had to answer 20 questions. You mail it off. It gets mailed off. Normally, what the FFL will do it. They'll mail it off to the whatever department it went to. Then, because I mean, the FFL practically give you the answers to the test anyway. You know, and they mail it off, and the blue card comes in the mail. Then you're able to purchase a firearm. If you don't have the blue card, you can't buy one. So they make it difficult for I mean, it's not as bad as New York, but it's getting there. And from what I understand, I'm glad I left this year. They're like doing the Virginia on them, trying to make it almost impossible to own a gun in Rhode Island now. You know. Oh, New York Outcast said I had to pay for the app, pay to take classes, pay for fingerprints, get references then I could buy one, then pay for a second class and write a letter to the judge asking to carry. Yeah, I had to do that. I mean, not only that, you had to do a proficiency test in Rhode Island too. You had to score minimum of 195 points out of 300 on an Army L target at 25 yards. You know, to qualify. You had to qualify as well as everything else. So by the time all these steps you have to go through, as you said, it's to deter people from trying. They say, "Oh, why bother?"
Now, is there a big difference between upstate and New York City? I mean, obviously there's a big difference, but as far as people upstate, are they able to carry? I mean, are they able to get some kind of leeway
I don't
because they're
know.
not in the city?
Basically, New York does not allow concealed carry, regardless if you are state or in the city, unless you're some sort of armed guard or you own a business where you have to transport large sums of money. And then with regards to handguns and the rifle shotgun, in New York City, you need a permit for handguns and you need a permit to own rifles and shotguns. In New York State, which is separate from the 5 boroughs of New York City, you don't need a permit to own rifles and shotguns. You just need to have your pistol permit.
Okay.
Yeah, New York Outcast said it was. It took 9 months for him to get his, when they said by law it's only meant to take 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Rich White says I live in a state where you don't need permission to carry. I think he lives in West Virginia. Well, why you don't need permission to carry? Because you got all them goddamn big feet and other kind of monsters in that state.
Just don't go canoeing.
Just watch that TV show, Mountain Monsters. You know, those 4 or 5 big old boys going out the woods every night chasing monsters in West Virginia. You know,
What they don't realize is the monster's actually their cousin.
You know, so
I wasn't going to say anything about the banjos. And actually, if anybody does like bluegrass, my friend that did the little switcheroo with the shopping, the blind lady, her nephew is Billy Strings. Check him out. He's like world famous now, but he's a young kid and he plays the banjo like nobody's business. If you're interested, Billy Strings. Check him out.
Okay. Yeah, Rich White says Mountain Monsters is hilarious. It is. It's a funny show. You know, it really is. So, and I mean, they're meant to make you. They're trying to make you think this is real. So they always seem to, you know, they build these big old traps. If they catch it and they run up to the trap, they bust it out of it, or they don't catch or they don't catch it. You know,
Or the tree's pulled over.
yeah, it is kind of funny. So, hang on, it's almost quitting time. I've only got a couple of entries to my quiz, and it's a good one. I mean, I've got all kinds of. There's 2 or 3 patches in here. All kinds of good stuff. There's even I wouldn't call it a pin, but it's a badge that you can pin. That you know, it's got one of them clips on the back of it. You know, don't tread on me thing, and all kinds of goodies in there. And the question is, this is email quiz. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by noon Saturday. That's Eastern time, the only time zone that matters. Yeah. Rich White says, Buck reminds me of Night Strike. Yeah, he is a bit, doesn't he? I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show. There's this big old boy called Buck. You know, and he waddles around the woods. It's kind of funny, really. Okay, the question was, I don't know if you guys watched it. You need to watch this movie if you can find it. It was in 1980. The Long Good Friday. Well, it's a British gangster film. Stars Bob Hoskins, Helen Mirren, and it was Pierce Brosnan's very first feature film role. It was actually voted number 21 on the British Film Institute Top 100 British Films of the 20th century, called The Long Good Friday. What the question was, I wanted to know what was the gun that Pierce Brosnan carried in that movie. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. You know?
Nice.
Oh, yeah. My permit was only $20 in Pennsylvania and 20 minutes to walk in and out with it. Felt like I was doing something wrong after dealing with New York. Yeah. I mean, after all I went through to get this permit, you know, like I said, you had to pay for fingerprints too and all this. The actual permit itself was only something like $30, but you spent about $150 getting everything together to get the permit. You know, no pain in the ass. Actually, mine runs out. When does it run out? I don't think if I remember correctly, I've got to double check because of the qualification part of the process, right? I don't think they do non-resident ones because how can I be there to do the qualification? You know, it runs out next October 2020. So far, I mean, the only license that I let lapse was my Massachusetts license because I don't know if I ever be back to Massachusetts, and for a non-resident license is $100 a year. I mean, yes, it would be nice to. I mean, when I open my wallet and 8 carry permits fall out in one of those plastic containers, you know, when there's plastic things that shows them all, you know, it's nice to have all 8 of them, but 100, I just can't justify $100, you know, just to say I have it. You know, I needed it when I lived there because living in Rhode Island, you had to go through, to go anywhere, you either had to go through, you know, Massachusetts or Connecticut. That was the only way out of the state. And each state doesn't recognize each other's permits. So I had to have all those different permits to do anything in New England. So there we go. I even got a Maine non-resident. Even though Maine is constitutional carry, their license has reciprocity with other states. I think there's only about 5 states I don't have covered through all of these permits I have. So, there we go. Anything else, anybody?
You've got mail.
Oh, I got mail. Somebody entered my quiz. Yes, I didn't even know he was in the chat. John Z. Project. I haven't seen him talking, unless I haven't been paying attention.
Patriot, when are you doing your giveaway?
Oh
Yeah.
man, I got tons of stuff to give away too. I if I can ever learn to make a video with the lights on, it'll actually I probably should do it without the lights. Hey, that'd even be a good one. Because I got a pile of stuff and I gotta get rid of this stuff. Yeah.
I need a really good question for this Saturday, because what I want to give away is I got this. It's like a cleaning mat, of the Gaston flag, but it says F around and find out on the bottom of it.
Classy.
I was going to give this away, as a prize, but I need a good question, not an easy one. I need a hard one. So, that's what I was going to give away. If I can't come up with a hard question, I'll come up with something else as a prize. Yeah. Oh, John Z said, sorry, doing housework, Rick. That's okay. Rich White says, John Z is just lurking quietly. He's stalking us. So he's actually stalking Rich, is what he's saying. So there you go. He's stalking him to make sure he's not friends with Buck on Mountain Monsters. Oh, if you guys haven't seen that show, you ought to watch it. It's hilarious. It really is. So, all right, it's 8:00. I'm calling it quits, and because I'm getting hungry, I think Wednesday night has become my grilled cheese sandwich night. Now that's I'm during the winter months, that's what I'm doing, grilled cheese. In the summer months, it's burgers on a Wednesday night.
Nice.
So I'm doing grilled cheese, and I hope Kingpin's got his ears closed. I'm using mayonnaise on the outside of the bread, to crisp it up nicely. So,
Oh, sorry, I was in the bathroom throwing up. What are you guys talking about?
it's all right. You don't need to know.
I have a quick.
Cut of the week. Also Boko. That wasn't my cut of the week, but yeah, I don't do cut of the weeks on Wednesday. I do them on Saturday. I could do that one on Saturday if I write it down. Personally, myself, I don't like the stuff, but
All right, I got a quick question for everybody. What is the thing you're looking for dinner tomorrow? That's not just
Green bean
I
casserole.
was gonna say.
oh god, that
Mm-mm-mm.
bean casserole should have been buried with the lady who invented it.
Man,
I did last year.
I'm glad you said that because I'm going to go around and scrape it up from all those people that don't know how to cook, and that's the thing that they cook so good, and I'm going to send you a whole pile.
Okay. Oh, you
I'll
guys,
have it with some mayonnaise.
you guys who are doing turkeys, best way of cooking them,
Oh God, here we go again.
when you put them in a pan, the juicy breast thing,
You're making me blush.
Put them on a baking sheet, or some hard celery, to keep the turkey off the bottom for when all the grease goes through it, it doesn't soak into the turkey. Is actually turn the turkey upside down, so it's actually on its breast. That way, all the juices flow through it.
Well,
Then about 30 minutes before it's done, you turn it over and brown off the, crisp off and brown off the breast.
but you cover it in bacon grease, right? Before you do all that?
Up to you. I mean, you can baste it any way you like, but the best way of doing it is doing it upside down, and that keeps the meat moist and tender on those juicy breasts.
Is it bad that I'm turning 30 and still have the mind of a 12-year-old?
See, now talking
Fit
about
right
this,
in.
now, I mean, YouTube makes me check off, is your show suitable for kids or not? And I click not, just to cover my ass.
It should be suitable for kids. You have a bunch of them on the panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fit right
Oh,
in.
Seven Wonder says you got to add grilled ham. Oh yeah, I do that sometimes. If I have the ham, I'll do a grilled ham and cheese sandwich, and that is really good. Rich Wright, I agree with you. Green bean casserole is disgusting.
Horrible.
Absolute.
No, I won't say it's disgusting. It's just I've had bad history with green bean casserole being disgusting, and yeah, because that's the people that don't know how to cook. That's the thing that they say. Oh, I'll make that. Everybody loves that. It's just
but
I don't know.
What you call it? I might be getting them. I might be getting the full turkey dinner delivered to me tomorrow by one of my cousins, because she felt sorry for me, because she called me up. She said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, well, I got a hard decision. She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Am I going to eat a banquet or a hungry man turkey dinner?"
That always works.
So we can have a TV dinner. She's getting all so. And I was laughing. I know. Actually, I'm going to cook myself. Actually, I got a little piece of beef in the fridge, and there's actually, I talked about it the other day, a rump roast, a nice juicy rump roast, and some potatoes, some Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts, and I'm going to cook that for myself tomorrow. I even baked myself my cousin who lived next door. She gave me some stuff out of her cupboard that she didn't want to take with her. And one of them was a box of Betty Crocker spice cake mix. So I baked that this morning. And the other day I bought a couple of cans of that canned frosting of creamy cheese. So I got it smothered in thick, creamy cheese. I baked it today. One of them fell right out of the thing. The other one I guess I didn't grease it enough, and it got a little bit stuck on the bottom. So I had to, but the time I loaded it up, it looks good.
Oh, you mean cream cheese?
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking creamy cheese. I'm like, oh my goodness.
No, cream cheese.
Them British guys, I tell you what.
Spread.
All right, cream cheese. Gotcha.
So.
But after I get off here, I'm actually making a relish. I'm making cranberry orange relish. So you take a whole bunch of bitter cranberries, throw them in the food processor, and a couple whole oranges, and a bunch of sugar, and it's easy. And then I can bring it. Then I don't feel bad that I didn't make anything fancy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With my roast beef tomorrow, I'll have some horseradish sauce with it. So when you put it on there and you put it in your mouth, you bite on it. It makes your sinuses clear and your nose starts running. Oh man,
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Good times. That's my Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I'll be sitting there watching movies. Verizon phone company gave me Disney Plus for a year for free. Right, so I've been watching the the Mandarin or whatever you call it. That's pretty good show. Man, that's it. I've been watching that. It's pretty good. But there's a lot of other shows on there, movies
The Black Hole.
You know, I mean, some of them are old and corny Walt Disney movies, but I might watch a couple of them tomorrow. Otherwise, I don't think that Disney Plus is that great, to be honest with you. So far, I ain't seen much on it. You know, so.
Well, I broke down and got Amazon Prime now, so I'm going through all their described videos, which they say there's 200 some, and there's not.
Yeah,
There's a couple of them.
I like it because they got a few British shows on there and stuff. But what I'm thinking of doing, right, is I don't know BritBox. I'm thinking of getting that because I love watching British TV. You know, but then it's another expense. You know, it's another what, $7 a month. You know, that adds up. You know, you got Amazon Prime, you got Netflix. Then if I get BritBox, then I got my satellite TV. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I get Disney Plus for a year free, but then after that, I got to start paying. You know, so.
Well, if anyone's out there listening and has T-Mobile, you can get the military family plan or whatever, and they throw in Netflix for free. So that's what I got.
There you go. Anyway, we're going to call this show to an end. We'll go around the room here for shouts and plugs and all that good, and we'll start with the most talkative person tonight, Squib.
Yeah.
Any shout-outs or plugs?
No, I already done that twice this week. That's twice too much.
All right, I appreciate you being here. I really do.
Appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of I really would have liked to have been on Saturday's show. That was a really good show, Rick. I mean, not that your shows aren't, but that one was above average. And I was freezing my butt off in a deer stand, and I know that I've sometimes been able to jump in while I'm hunting, but I was just kind of preoccupied. But I went back and watched it, and check it out. Go over to the streamer and check it out. Go over there, but give it some views, give it some thumbs up over on Gunstreamer, and also. Before the show started, I forgot to say I had to take off my Budget Guns and Gear Review patch off my hat and put on my Patriot in the Dark patch. So, but I made sure I made it a little bit. I didn't put it in the center of the Velcro, and I had it upside down, so it looks like Patriot put it on me.
Oh yeah, I watched your mail call one the other day, showing us your stickers and stuff upside down and stuff. It was great, you know. But you did get the. I was amazed that you got the Wolverine one, and you had it the right way up and everything. You know. So,
good job, Squib.
Kingpin, any shout outs or plugs?
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for having me, Rick.
No problem. I appreciate you being here. See, me and you held it together on Saturday for a really good show. See, even Squib complimented you. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Kingpin spoke for me, and I was thinking it, and I'm listening on the playback, and I'm thinking what I would say, and Kingpin said exactly what I would have said. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you having my back, Kingpin.
Hey, I do what I can do, man. Not a problem.
Yeah. Patriot, any shout-outs or plugs?
Just remember the December 15th. Obviously, that's in a couple weeks. Also, go check out Squib's last video with the drywall, shooting penetration, stuff like that. That was pretty cool. I'm going to try to get this video out and turn the lights on. And within the next couple days, I have taken some time off or whatever, but I'm going to try to get out another giveaway thing. I got a lot of this stuff I might as well give away, and hopefully it'll be before Christmas. But I do appreciate all the support, all the emails and stuff from people, and it's nice to be back. So
good.
It'll be rough. I might be in and out, off and on.
Yeah,
but it's a
good
lot
to have you back.
So. All right, thank you.
Blind shooter.
No plugs, Rick. Thanks for having me. It's always an honor being here, and happy Turkey Day to everybody that celebrates.
Yes, that's what I was going to get to. I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody, unless you're one of those social justice warriors that thinks we should do away from with Thanksgiving because it's all one big lie, you know. So, oh man, I think I'm pissing people off because I lost four subs this week or this month. So.
Yeah, but that could have just been me 4 times because I've been unsubbed from, I've counted 50 different channels, and pretty much every single Gun Channels member or GunTube member, Gun Streamer, us. I've been unsubscribed from all of us, and like today when I opened up your channel, I was unsubscribed, so I hit the
Again?
subscribe button. Yep, and then once I close it out, if I open it back up again, I'll be unsubscribed again. So if you notice your sub count going up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, that's probably me.
Okay. All right. I want to say thank you for everybody in the chat for being here. Appreciate you standing by, listening to me waffle on. And I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern with Rick's Life as I See It. And I'll be back here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. with Shooting with Disabilities. If you got any questions or anything, email me them, and we can discuss them. So thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And thank you, Sabrina from the Netherlands, for being here.
Yeah, thank you,
I've been
Sabrina.
reading what you wrote in the chat. So see you guys all later. Have a good one.
Gobble,
Epstein
gobble.
didn't kill himself.